So let's talk about something that feels like a total contradiction, right? We're diving into the psychology of people who have these huge, ambitious dreams, but at the same time, they often get called lazy, or, even call themselves lazy.
Does this sound familiar at all? You have this incredible, super clear picture of what you want to achieve. But when it comes to the small daily stuff, getting moving feels impossible. That gap between where you want to go and what you're doing today can be just so frustrating.
Okay, so here's the absolute key to understanding this. What we're looking at isn't a character flaw. It's not a lack of ambition. It's a completely different and, honestly, a really misunderstood way of being motivated.
So here's the game plan for this explainer. We'll start by really defining this paradox, and then we're going to break down 5 specific psychological traits that explain what's really going on under the hood, from mental efficiency all the way to something called selective discipline.
First things first, what exactly is this paradox? Well, it describes people who genuinely want big things out of life. They can imagine these amazing futures for themselves, but they just can't seem to get the gears turning in the present moment. On the outside, it looks like laziness, but trust me, the ambition is 100% real. So what's the first thing driving this? It's not about avoiding work, not at all. It's about avoiding wasted energy. For this kind of mind, mental energy is the most valuable currency there is, way more important than just physical effort.
Your brain is basically running this constant subconscious math problem. If it looks at a task and thinks, okay, this is going to take a ton of effort and the reward is tiny or feels completely disconnected, well, motivation just hits a wall. It's a built-in resistance to doing stuff that feels inefficient.
And let's be super clear here. This has nothing to do with a lack of discipline. It is a powerful, deeply ingrained instinct to save that precious brain power for the things that really, truly matter. The things that promise a real payoff.
Okay, trait number 2. This is all about where their motivation actually comes from. These folks are energized by the future. It's the big picture, the end goal, that gets them excited, not the boring daily to-do list.
And this is where the big disconnect happens. Thinking about that grand vision, totally exciting. But the small, repetitive daily things you have to do to get there, they can feel so draining, because they're just too far removed from that awesome final outcome.
This quote just nails it. Their brain is wired for the big payoff at the end, not the little pats on the back along the way. It's why they can seem so detached from the very work that will get them to the goals they care so much about. And that brings us to trait number 3. And this one might be a bit of a surprise. A lot of the time, what looks like procrastination is actually perfectionism in disguise. Having really high standards can, weirdly enough, lead to doing nothing at all. This is such an important thing to get. The hesitation isn't because they're apathetic, it's the total opposite. They care so much that the fear of not doing it perfectly makes it feel safer to just not start. Putting it off feels better than creating something that doesn't live up to the vision in their head. Now for a trait that is completely invisible to everyone on the outside. You might see them sitting still, but their mind is running a marathon. What looks like chilling out is often some seriously intense mental effort. Just look at where their energy is really going. A massive chunk of it is spent planning, strategizing, imagining different outcomes, and weighing all the options. So by the time it's actually time to do the thing, they can already be mentally wiped out from all the work they've done in their head.
So think of it this way. When you see them resting, it's not procrastination, it's recovery. Their brain has already done the heavy lifting, and now their body just needs a minute to catch up.
And our final trait, number 5, really pulls all of this together. The thing is, these individuals aren't undisciplined, they're selectively disciplined. They have this incredible ability to focus and work like crazy, but only when the conditions are just right. And this is the core idea, selective discipline. It means their effort isn't about obligation, it's about alignment. When a task clicks with who they are, what they value, or where they're going, they can tap into this insane level of focus and productivity.
And you can see the difference so clearly. A task that feels forced, meaningless, like something they have to do, it's a total motivation killer. But a task that feels aligned with their true self and their goals, that's when they get in the zone. That's where the magic happens.
So to quickly recap, the 5 big traits are a preference for mental efficiency, being motivated by the future, having high standards that can cause a pause, being exhausted by hidden mental work, and needing alignment to unlock their discipline.
And really, this is what it all boils down to. Once you get how your own mind works, the goal isn't to force yourself to be someone you're not.
The real goal is to build a life and a system that actually plays to your strengths and works with your natural motivational style.
So I'll leave you with this to think about. Instead of beating yourself up over what looks like laziness, how can you start using these unique strengths to your advantage? That big picture thinking, that drive for efficiency, that intense focus when you're truly aligned. Because that, right there, is where your real power lies.